our chalice lighting and the sung response.
Our chalice is being lit by Willow this morning. Fire and water, ancient opposites, sun and ocean, the cradle of life, dancing flame and dancing river. We invoke them together today as we kindle our chalice flame. Please join us with our sung response. Hello and welcome to this House of Hope. My name is Colleen Beery and I use she, her pronouns. I love this church because it's full of loving, caring people who truly want to walk together along this progressive liberal path. I'd like to give a special welcome to anyone visiting us for the first time. I encourage you to stop by the table in the Welcome Center where we can give you a little goodie bag, get you signed up for the weekly email bulletin, and answer any questions you may have. After the service, stick around for a few minutes, have some coffee. We'd love to get to know you. This community has events happening all throughout the week. I encourage you to check the calendar every Sunday night so you can fill out your schedule for the week to come. Go to our website, liveoakuu.org. In the top menu, you can hover or tap on what to expect, and then click on events to see our full calendar of upcoming events. Something you might be interested in this week is there's going to be a casual happy hour this Friday at La Dosis in Cedar Park. You can contact Laura Berryman or Mary Doherty for more information.
So we are gearing up for our new program year, which for a church kind of follows an academic calendar, and it kicks off on September 6th. And so after the service today, we are having our fed and informed potluck. Everyone is invited to join us, and we will be sharing there what is to come over the next 4 months. But before we get to that, let's have a quick note about stewardship, and Amy Starnes will tell us more about that.
Good morning, Live Oak. I'm here this morning with a quick update from the Stewardship Committee, and it's a good one. At Live Oak, we sustain this community through our time, our talents, the care we show one another, and of course, our financial support. We're well into the second half of 2026, and our pledge giving is generally on pace with where we are in the year. That's good news. We're grateful to everyone who has kept up their pledges this year, and we also understand that there are some families who prefer to contribute in the fourth quarter of the year. We ask everyone to take a minute over the next few weeks to check your 2026 pledge status. You or the person designated as your head of household should receive a giving statement by email at the beginning of each month, and that's an easy way to check where you stand. And if you have any questions about your pledge or giving statement, Diane, thank you. I practiced that 14 times this morning, and I knew that I would get up here and blank on it. But anyway, thank you. She absolutely will be able to help you out if you have any questions. And most importantly, thank you. Every pledge and every contribution helps make possible the programs, experiences, and connections that make Live Oak the community we love. Thank you for all of the ways that you help sustain Live Oak. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. We know our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We're so grateful for this and commit together to ensure the funds that we collect do a greater good for ourselves and our world than we could have done alone. May this be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this church. May we give in love and in hope. Please rise for our theme hymn, number 1011, Return Again. The reading today is by Kimmy Floyd Reich, and it's called Confluence. In the beginning, the earth spoke. The wind carried memory through trees older than empires. Our fiery sun reminded us that transformation is both beautiful and risky. The stone stood, grounded and still, carried the wisdom of time before time, and water, ever flowing, taught that life is movement and change. We gather today in this moment from mountains, streams, and marshlands, from inland cities and dry desert plains, from industrial hubs along Great Lakes to small homes along a bubbling creek, sharing our stories and our memories. We honor the sacred flow found in water, the streams that nourished our ancestors, the rains that quenched thirst and longings, the oceans that connected us in ways beyond our borders. Water is not just a symbol, it is life itself. It teaches us that what we pour out matters, and that what we return to the water must be cared for. We honor those who come here today, carrying hope by returning here to this space and by extending our promise to move together like a river toward the beloved community, resilient, connected, and alive. Rivers meet in confluences, spaces where different waters flow together. May this gathering be a confluence of purpose, of communal healing, and of our commitment to continue the work of love and liberation.
Fall is here, hear the yell, back to school, ring the bell, brand new shoes, walking blues, climb the fence, book and pens, I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Yes, I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Walk with me, Susie Lee, through the park and by the tree. We can rest upon the ground and look at all the bugs we found. Safely walk to school without a sound. We'll safely walk to school without a sound. Well, here we are, nowhere else. We walk to school all by ourselves. There's dirt on our uniforms from chasing all the ants and worms. We clean up and now it's time to learn. We clean up and now it's time to learn. Well, numbers, letters, learn to spell, nouns and books and show and tell. Playtime, we will throw the ball, then back to class, through the hall. Teacher marks our height against the wall. The teacher marks our height against the wall. But sorry, I think we're there. You don't notice any time pass, 'cause we don't notice anything. And we sit by side every class. The teacher thinks I sound funny, but she likes it when you sing. Tonight I'll beam in my bed while silly thoughts run through my head of the bugs and alphabet. And when I wake tomorrow, I'll bet you and I will walk together again. 'Cause I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Yes, I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
One Sunday morning, a young man walked into a Unitarian Universalist church, small church in North Texas. He'd never been in a UU church before. He was in college, though. He'd been going to a Baptist church, and that didn't really fit. And one of his professors, who was getting to know him, said he had heard good things about that Unitarian church down the road, and that might fit this young man, and maybe he should go check it out. So one Sunday morning, he did. He was met at the door by an older woman, kind of grandmotherly sort. Her name was Scotty, and she welcomed him in, and immediately her enthusiasm, both for getting to know him and for sharing this church with him, just spilled over. She told him everything about the church, gave him a little tour all around the place, wanted to know about him, wanted to know what was happening in his life, told him a little bit about the service that he was going to be going to. We have, in Unitarian Universalism, we have 4 rituals that we do every year. We're going to be doing one of them today, and these are all to honor some aspect of being in a community. For them, that day, it was their flower communion. So she explained to him how it worked, about how, people bring in flowers, and then you walk away with a different flower than the one that you brought, and oh, yeah, it's okay that you didn't bring any. We still want you to take one too. She talked to him about the history of it, about the story, about how it was created by a UU minister, a Unitarian minister in Czechoslovakia, who was later captured by the Nazis. Told him all these different things. By the time the service started, he was already feeling at home and not quite like a stranger. He came again the following Sunday, and the Sunday after that. Always, Scotty was there to greet him. At a certain point, it stopped just being hi and started being a hug. She started teaching him, because he was a young adult, right? She started teaching him about how you do church as an adult. It must be confessed, since we just had our little stewardship note, she also talked to him at stewardship time about how that worked, how you give a pledge. He would say later, she also explained to him, now you're going to really think about it. Don't give more than you can, but you're going to give a real pledge, not just a college kid pledge where you don't even think about it. As this went on, they got to know each other better and better. When he decided that he was going to propose marriage to his girlfriend, Scotty was one of the first people that he told. And she shared things with him, concerns about her husband's health, things happening with her children and her grandchildren. One day, he came to her and he said that he was feeling a calling to ministry. She gave him nothing but encouragement and a little bit of helpful bossiness. Some of us older folks, we know what that's like, a little helpful bossiness. She told him, when you're applying to these seminaries, apply to Harvard Divinity School. I know you don't have money, but I've heard that if you get in, they take care of that for you. So he did, and they did. They stayed in touch all during the time when he was far away going to seminary. They stayed in touch when he was doing his internship right here at Live Oak. And she was right there when he was being ordained into ministry. Now, while all of that was happening, she was feeling a calling of her own. And so she called him up to tell him that, she knew she was well into retirement age, and was this just too crazy of an idea? And he gave back to her the same encouragement that she had given him. She didn't go to Harvard. She had a pretty full life at that time. She went to Perkins School of Theology, which was a little closer to home. But she became a minister as well, and then became the minister at our San Marcos congregation. And when it was time for her to be ordained, the person who did her ordination sermon was that kid who had walked into that tiny little church where she had greeted him. And then a few years later, when she died, the person who officiated at her service and gave the eulogy was him, the Reverend Aaron White. Has anyone ever seen these videos of, it's called Meet Cutes NYC? Anyone who's online? They're on YouTube and TikTok, of course. Y'all know that's where I'm going to be hanging out. It started with 3 friends, and what they do is they walk around New York City recording, and when they spot someone that they think, that they're together, they go up to them and they say, "Are you a couple?" And by now they've gotten pretty good at spotting them. So most of the times the answer is yes. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's ew, especially if it turns out that they're siblings. But most of the time it is a couple. And so then the first question that they ask is, how did you first meet? And with couples, most of the time, and I imagine if we did it here, it'd be the same. Most couples can remember when it was the first time that they met. But a lot of times with friends, it's not like Aaron and Scotty. A lot of times we can't remember that first day, but it's only afterwards that we can look back and try and figure that out. That's the thing with lifelong friendships. You don't know, practically never, that when you first meet someone, that they're going to be in your life through good times and in bad. And that's something that happens in a church community. This summer, I was with 3 of my best girlfriends, and where we all met was sitting, it kind of feels weird now at the age we are to call them girlfriends, my women friends. But when we met, we were just over kids, sitting on the floor of a church nursery while our babies and toddlers and kids played. One of mine is now a grown-up right here. And over time, that relationship forms. And this is what happens in this intentional community. I don't think we often realize it until much later, and then we look up and we care so deeply about these other people. We love them. We say in Unitarian Universalism that love is the center of all we do. And it's what propels all of this. It is also the well from which we drink. And so we look up, and this person who, at least once a month, we're going to be in an argument with them in some committee meeting, but they are also a part of us. We are a part of a chosen village, and we are in each other's lives, often for way longer than we anticipate happening. Sometimes it's all of our lives. Today, we are doing our water communion. You've been asked, if you remembered, if you didn't remember, that's okay, to bring a little bit of water from your journeys, from your adventures this past year. And that can be from some far off place, a river in Europe, but it can also be from your kitchen faucet, just living your life. And what it symbolizes is 2 things. Number one, it symbolizes this weird kind of tension that we have between individuality and community, because the reality is we are each different people. We don't think the same. We don't act the same. We are not motivated in the same way. And we are each on our own spiritual journey. But we come together and we pool all of that. And so none of us is only limited to our own experiences from which to draw wisdom. We get to all of us draw from this deep pool that we create together. And this is also a deep pool of love. Me and my girlfriends, I'm not going to detail all of it, but over 22 years, we've seen some stuff. We've gone through some stuff. Pain, joy, but through all of it, there has been that love. There's been that feeling that we can always reach out to each other. This, too, is what we pool together. All of the love that we are carrying for life and for this community itself. So in a little bit here, I'm going to invite you to come forward. Got a microphone set up. You're going to be invited first, if you are willing, don't feel that you have to, but to come up with one or two words of something this year that you have gained on your adventures that you want to share as a blessing to this community. As Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, or mend a broken bridge, or rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. And I would add that this is where we give words to the yearnings of our hearts. In that spirit, let us pray. To be together, to make the brave choice to not go it alone, to be able to withstand differences of opinion, of preferences, of tastes, who likes what kind of music, which kind do they not like, which are your favorite hymns, which are the ones you just hate, knowing that whatever it is that leaves you cold may be exactly what the person next to you needs the most just to make it through one more week. It is said that being in a community is a lot like being a stone in a rock tumbler. We bump up against each other, and in doing so, we knock off some of the rough edges and become more of the best versions of ourselves. Our joys and sorrows today include Crystal, who says, so grateful for the nearly 45 friends that came to game night last night. It was a blast. Bill Dower shares that Lindy is feeling better following her spinal procedure. 6 to 8 weeks of reduced activity is what is next. Benson and Finley share that they survived and thrived in their first week of kindergarten and 4th grade. Also, pumped for my new sparkle heels. And Sophie shares the joy. My eldest son flew over from England to spend his 21st birthday with me. May we bear witness with the concerns and the joys, both expressed and silent in our hearts. Amen and blessed be. Please join me in singing. So the water communion is a Unitarian Universalist tradition in which we honor the journeys that we have taken as families and as individuals during the past year. And this is also our homecoming. Whether you have been a member of Live Oak from the very beginning, or if this is your very first Sunday here, welcome home. I'm going to ask you to come forward, perhaps, kind of nothing too organized. I know how y'all feel about organized religion. Maybe, a couple of rows at a time. If you are willing, just give us 1 or 2 words that signify the spiritual significance of the water you bring, the blessing that you can share with this community. Does it bring you renewal, refreshment, joy, clarity? Does it represent grief? Because that too can be a blessing. Vulnerability, anger, forgiveness. Find your own word or words and share them and your water in this community of transformation. And if you forgot your water, or if this is your first time here, we have a pitcher that can be symbolic water of what you bring. And I will begin with adding to this waters from last year's water communion for the continuity that we share year to year. And you are invited to come forward now. Lifelong friendship.
Comfort.
Peace and identity.
I'm going to go a couple extra words because this water is from the Swoosie Family Camp this summer, Southwest, and they had a water communion. So this water represents water from members of UU churches in Houston and Central Texas and Dallas. So it comes from a lot of people, and we had a really good time. You should go next year.
And my meaningful words are good enough.
Family celebration.
Courage to try new things.
Faith and patience. I've learned that if we're patient long enough, faith comes through.
Hope and renewal.
Deeper understanding and love.
Rebirth.
This is water I use to grow hydroponic lettuce at home to feed my rabbits. So care and nourishment.
Peace.
Gratitude and healing.
The catharsis of tears, both sorrowful and joyful.
Sandy Creek water, purified then boiled, so I trust it. And that is the same way it's been living among you. There's a lot of trust.
Security. Cherishing each other.
Freedom.
Healing and loving support.
Making the circle of love wider still.
Joy of watching grandsons jump in the waves.
Joy and love. Love.
This is from the glacier in Alaska, so I think it just represents the beauty of nature and getting the chance to see our world.
This is water from our home, but it represents a year of character building for me.
Year of perspective.
This water represents love, commitment, and our honeymoon.
This water represents commitment.
And also contentment. The water we're going to add represents our gratitude for our new community and for just all the blessings in our life.
This water is from a political event that was held at my house. It represents water, oxygen, sunlight, which we have to have in order to live on this place. But what we need is love.
Renewal.
Joy.
Appreciation.
Summer fun at the pool.
Eleanor has been playing in our backyard a lot with the hose this summer. And she's old enough to do that now, so this is for joy and growth.
Family.
Reconnection.
Oneness.
Serenity and surrender.
The essence of life.
We were swimming all summer, so for us, water is freedom and fun. Yeah? Good job.
Healing.
Love and joy.
This water is symbolic of water from Brushy Creek. The office where I see clients sits on stilts and looks out onto the creek, so I like to think of it as a co-therapist. So it represents support and healing.
This water is from the beautiful spring-fed swimming pool in Balmorhea State Park. Becky, you want to say a few words?
And my word is empathy.
Transition and adjustment.
Community.
As we are blessed by one another and the sharing of our spiritual journeys in this community, so we bless this water as a symbol of our gathered community. May we use it in the year to come as a symbol of our continuing commitment to one another and to the greater forces that sustain life. And we actually do use it. It will be boiled for safety's sake. And then over this next year, if we are so lucky as to have any baby or child dedications, it is used in that ritual. It often is used at our Blue Christmas Vespers. For when people are going through a very difficult time, we pour some of this up in teeny tiny little bottles, and we send it with them to remind them that they do not walk their journey alone, that they are part of a community that is here for them, and that the love of this community is available for them to draw from. May you go forward, strengthened by courage, guided by love, and steadfast in living out your greatest ethical and compassionate principles.
Please rise and join us in singing hymn 1012, When I Am Frightened, and remain standing for the chalice extinguishing. As Willow comes up, let's say these words to each other as we extinguish our chalice. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. It's been a gift to be together today. Thank you to today's home team who provided hospitality, worship, and tech leadership. Barbara, Benson, Judy, Tracy, Marie, Mike, Dawn, Cap, Stephen, Cassandra, Liam, and CT. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's continue that hospitality by spending the next 5 minutes talking with someone you don't know. Members, be sure to introduce yourself to any first-time visitors we have here. They're the ones with the handwritten name tags. Show them where the visitors table is and the coffee. And may we all know the blessings of fellowship.
In addition to that, you may recognize a friend here, but I'd like to officially announce that David Urrutia will be our new collaborative pianist. So welcome, David. And there will be a bio in the newsletter if you want to read more, but he said you are welcome to come up to him after the service and say hi. That's all.